Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back for United Daily Live. This is the place where you get all your latest Manchester United news, headlines, transfer rumours, transfer news, all that good stuff. And on the day when Manchester City were knocked out of the Champions League by Lyon, 3-1 on the night. Some excellent refereeing decisions, some excellent VAR decisions on the night as well. And it sees Manchester City knocked out of the Champions League. Hopefully, Manchester United will be the last Manx side standing after this weekend's football. United take on Sevilla tomorrow again in the Europa League, with a spot available for them, obviously, in the next round, in the final. 2 games to go to win the competition. Will Manchester United get to that final? We'll find out tomorrow. And of course, while we will have some chat about the Europa League semi-final, and while we will have some chat and some quotes from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ahead of the game, I also did my preview for the game today as well, which went up a little bit earlier on. It was a little bit killed by the fact that Champions League football was on at the same time that the video was released, but nevertheless it is up and you can go and check that out after we have finished here. But thank you to everyone for joining us. JKT69, Spider-Wan, Just Another Photographer, Messy Mouth, BMW Racing, Jamie Stanley, Ravi Kishore, Ross Murphy, Sporting Wisdom, Steve Fletcher, David. I can see all you guys in the comments. So thank you very much for joining us here on AdamMcKola TV. And if I don't read your comment or your name out, then I do apologise. But of course, we are here to speak about United anyway. And I'll try and answer as many questions and read as many comments as possible. As always, before we go anywhere, let's get stuck into a little on this day. And August the 15th, it is today, August the 15th, 2020. And on Saturday the 15th of August in 1987, Viv Anderson makes his Manchester United debut in a 2-2 First Division draw against Southampton at the Dell, just over a month after becoming Sir Alex Ferguson's first signing. The right back, who had joined from Arsenal where he won the League Cup in 86-87, cost £250,000, which was decided by tribunal. Anderson reveals in The Sun, during the celebrations of Ferguson's Silver Jubilee at Old Trafford, he told me he saw me play in a match between Arsenal and United in his first season as manager. It turned into a real kicking match between myself and Norman Whiteside. Alex said I was the only player he had seen who had stood up to Norman, and anyone who could do that, he wanted them in his team. So all because Viv Anderson had a little bit of a kick about with Norman Whiteside. Fergie saw, if he can deal with Norman Whiteside and give him a good kicking back when Norman Whiteside giving him one, then he needs to be in my team. And that's why he gave £250,000 after a tribunal, of course, for Viv Anderson to join Manchester United. So that is your on this day, today, the 15th of August. Now, let's get stuck into this news in relation to Dean Henderson. Now, we got loads of news to discuss today. Dean Henderson, Tahith Chong, both potential loan deals this summer. Also, Marcus Rojo, who's also currently out on loan. And Filip Stevanovic continues to be linked with Manchester United as well. As well as all of that, we've also got quotes from the press conference to come up from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Bruno Fernandes. But first, this story on Dean Henderson, and it come from Sky Sports via Man United Zone, and they say Dean Henderson has made it clear he wants to commit his long-term future to Manchester United and battle it out with David De Gea next season for the number 1 jersey. So we've obviously heard talk recently that Dean Henderson is being in contract negotiations with Manchester United. Manchester United are trying to get a deal sorted out for Dean Henderson to commit his long-term future at the club. Now, while this has been going on, we've seen in the last couple of days, United have released their squad on their website, and Dean Henderson is a part of that squad. Now, I believe we can't read too much into that, because regardless of whether Dean Henderson was coming back or not, I believe the club would add him to their squad. He's still their first team player at the end of the day. He's still part of the squad. Do you know what I mean? He's still part of our team. So it'd be daft for them not to put him there. You'd ask more questions why he wasn't there rather than why he is there. He's a Manchester United player at the end of the day. So I don't think we can read too much into that. But these reports are he wants to sign a deal at Manchester United, which is great. Now, although we didn't really read too much into the Chelsea talk and all that kind of thing, you do kind of have a little bit of a fear that what if Dean Henderson thinks, actually, I'll leave. I'm not going to get a chance. Ole don't want me to come back this summer. I'm not going to get a chance. We've heard Romero's linked with a move. Maybe Ole's thinking, do I let Romero go? Let Dean Henderson come in and be a number 2? Now, me personally, I think that's a little bit dangerous, because if David De Gea is in form, if David De Gea is playing well, then there's no way you drop David De Gea for Dean Henderson. So when is Dean Henderson going to be playing for Manchester United? In the cups only? That's not enough games for someone that's been playing regular football week in, week out for Sheffield United. And it would almost seem like it's better for him to go out on loan for another season at Sheffield. But now Sheffield have reportedly agreed a fee with Bournemouth for their goalkeeper. So are Sheffield United showing signs that they're actually looking towards a future without Dean Henderson? And, or is everyone just putting these stories together and thinking, that must mean Dean Henderson's coming back? Because it could just be Sheffield United want to have the new goalkeeper in so he can learn the way they play, so that when Dean Henderson does leave, if he stays there on loan, that they've got a goalkeeper that's ready to just step in, do you know what I mean? And Bournemouth got relegated, so it's not like he's a Premier League goalkeeper. You'd probably go sit on the bench in the Prem then be in the Championship. So maybe them signing a goalkeeper doesn't mean he's going to come back to United. I don't know, but it's a difficult decision to make, because you kind of want to guarantee that he's going to play football. But David De Gea is rightly our number 1. I don't think we should be making Dean Henderson our number 1. I think it's way too soon to rush him into that number 1 position. I wouldn't mind him being a backup and, seeing him push David De Gea, because I think part of it with Romero is Romero's happy as a number 2. If you brought in Dean Henderson, you're bringing in someone that isn't happy as a number 2. So you're bringing in someone that's going to be actively pushing for that number 1 spot. And therefore, David De Gea is going to have to perform, because if you don't, then there's no excuse. There's no, De Gea's our best, because actually we've got this young goalkeeper who's been performing fantastically well in the Premier League, and he can come in and take your spot. So whilst I think De Gea rightly should be our number 1 next season, I'm split on, do we send him out on loan? If you bring him back, you have to get rid of Sergio Romero. It's as simple as that. You can't be keeping all 3 of them. It doesn't make any sense at all. Romero may be happy being a number 2. He's not going to be happy being a number 3. And that's where he'd be. Because there's no point bringing Dean Henderson back unless you can guarantee him some football. It's as simple as that. But it's an interesting development in the story that he wants to return to battle for David De Gea's number 1 spot at Old Trafford. Let me know what you guys are making of that story. We have got a super chat in from Son Goku Ian 97, who says, if we don't sign Sancho, we need to look for decent alternatives. Marseille's English youth player Mike Oxmalskrim, really good quality. I've not seen too much of him, so I'm not too sure on that one at all in relation to that. But if you guys know any other alternatives, let us know who you think the alternatives to Jadon Sancho could be. There's not been any developments in regards to Jadon Sancho leaving or staying at Borussia Dortmund, so there's just nothing for us to speak about in that regard. So I'm going to steer clear of that kind of stuff. Now, Tahith Chong, on the other hand, is linked with a move to Werder Bremen, and today that seemingly took a step closer. Now, earlier on in the day, this afternoon, there were reports that actually it might not happen. But then there's been further developments that Tahith Chong has been allowed to fly out to meet up with Werder Bremen and complete his move. Now, it seemed in this deal, United will still pay a substantial amount of his wages, and that's probably been the sticking point for Manchester United to get this deal done. But I think the positives probably outweigh the negatives in that you're sending Tahith Chong away to get regular first team football. Now, you're looking at Dean Henderson, who is someone that's had regular first team football and is now thinking, I want to be playing for the first team at Man United. And Tahith Chong isn't really in a position to even demand that. Like, Dean Henderson probably isn't, and look what he's done. So Tahith Chong is someone that's going to benefit from going out on loan. We've seen what the Bundesliga can do for young players. And obviously we're very hopeful that he can go and do well for Werder. But I think it's a good move to get done. We've had Tahith Chong's contract signed down. He was obviously linked with moves to like Juventus, PSG, various other clubs. So it's clearly that his talent is one that's highly regarded. Just because he's had some hit and miss performances in the first team, I don't think we should write him off. It was only 12, 18 months ago that everyone was really enthusiastic and buzzing about this guy. And way too young to write him off. He still has that potential. He's just got to develop it. He hasn't had as much opportunity as he maybe would have liked at United. Although he has had a fair opportunity, more than some other young players. Let's see what he can do out on loan. Let's see. And I think it's a good move for him to be able to do. So, yeah, I'm all for this Tahith Chong Werder Bremen loan move. And it looks like it could be taking a step closer to happening. Whereas Henderson maybe has stepped away from this potential loan move happening, it looks like Tahith Chong has taken a step closer and maybe a flight closer, and is flying out to complete that move to Werder Bremen. We had heard reports it could have been done by Friday, but obviously it's not done yet. And Tahith Chong is, as of yet, still a Man United player. He will be, but of course he could be going out on loan. Somebody that is already out on loan is Marcos Rojo. Yes, Marcos Rojo. He's out in Argentina. He is on loan at Estudiantes. And a lot of the talk had been that Marcos Rojo was going to stay in Argentina. He wasn't going to return to Manchester United. And United were hopefully going to find a buyer for him. Now, that doesn't look like it could be the case if you read into what Marcos Rojo's agent has been posted online. Now, he posted the Manchester United shirt, the number 16, Marcos Rojo on the back, put 2020, 2021 with all these emojis and that. And he's got people thinking that Marcos Rojo is set to return to Manchester United. Now, what does this mean? Is it just he's buzzing, the new shirt's out, he's taking a picture of it, there we go, reminding everyone Marcos Rojo's still a United player? Is it trying to force other people to come in with offers? Is he playing a game with United and actually saying, well, Marcos Rojo's still a United player, you've got to pay him if you want him to go? Because this is what agents will be doing. They will be trying to play games with clubs, and United may be trying to push Marcos Rojo out the door and get rid of him in a deal. And he may be thinking, well, actually, we've got this contract with you. You've got to pay us up to go or something like that. So he could be trying to play games in that way as well, in regards to Marcos Rojo. There's been reports, obviously, recently that Marcos Rojo's off and other players have been, made up for sale. Andreas Pereira, could he be set to leave? Benfica are reported to be in for him now. There was talk about Valencia being in for him. Clubs from, I think he said, Spain, Portugal, Germany, all looking at Andreas Pereira. So Andreas Pereira could also be one of those set for a move away from Manchester United. That would be permanent. You'd expect if Marcos Rojo left, that would be permanent. But Marcos Rojo's agent doing these posts, trying to play games with people, making us think Marcos Rojo could be returning. Now, there's been varying reports on Filip Stevanovic. The last we had heard, Manchester United was set to sign the player, but there's been contrasting reports in the British press and in foreign media. British press are saying it's not yet done. Foreign media are saying, actually, it is done. He's set to sign. He's going to stay at Partizan for another season, and the deal's worth around 10 million euros. Although I've seen some others report 10 million pounds as well. So there's that talk about Filip Stevanovic potentially joining Manchester United. So that's all the latest transfer news. Dean Henderson potentially returning to the club from his loan deal, although it was expected he would go back out on loan. Tahith Chong moving to Werder Bremen on loan. Looks like he could be flying out to get that deal sewn up. Marcos Rojo hinting, his agent hinting at a United stay, and United reportedly set to sign Filip Stevanovic. But there's loads of other things to chat about as well, because United are involved in a Europa League semi-final tomorrow. We are the only English club left in European competition. Let's hope it stays that way after tomorrow's game against Sevilla. No team has scored more goals than Manchester United in the Europa League this season. United have 24 goals. Matic was saying about the game that I think everyone is happy and ready for the semi-final. We play against Sevilla, which are a very good team. It will be a big challenge for us to see where we are at. We look forward to Sunday. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been speaking as well, and he says to be successful as a player under Sir Alex, you have to have had a certain personality anyway. And I think those 15 years that I have had as a player and coach have helped me a lot to prepare for this work. I'm the manager there. Are more people who come to see me and recognise me. When I was a player, there was Beckham, Giggs, Keane, Scholes. So now has more attention on me, but that's okay. I felt when I arrived at their club that there have been a lot of changes since Sir Alex left. Little by little, I have a feeling that we are coming back to the right values. I think maybe that we got lost as a football club. Bruno was also talking, and he said, on adapting to the Premier League, the team have helped me a lot, the staff. It was much easier for me, maybe because I already played in Italy, so I know what it is to be in different leagues. But the Premier League is different. When a club pays 55 million for a player, it gives you confidence. All the conversations I've had with my coach and my teammates have helped me. When you have someone telling you to play your own game, it's easier for you. We know from experience that it's painful to lose a semi-final. Now is the time for the players to increase their level of play. You have to be 100% focused. Solskjaer commented, no worries about next season at the moment. We have to use this as preparation for this tournament, but almost as a pre-season for next season. He was asked how to beat Sevilla, and he said by scoring more goals than them. But he says we have to play our best game, be smart, be creative, avoid their pressing. You have to be level in these great moments. These games can be decided on detail. Now obviously they have an incredible record, Sevilla. They haven't lost since February. United have obviously lost that game against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final, but before that we hadn't lost since January. So these are two clubs that are in very, very good form going into this game. Sevilla hold, excellent Europa League tradition and heritage, football heritage you may say, and they've been to the semi-finals 3 times, and on those 3 occasions they have won the Europa League. Now, Manchester United have been to, I believe, 5 semi-finals, and every time we've been to a semi-final in European competition, we have managed to get to the final. Now, one of those records has to come to an end in in Germany, in this semi-final. Fingers crossed it will be Manchester United getting the victory. Last time out against them, we obviously were beaten by Sevilla under Jose Mourinho, and it was football heritage time. And I'm just praying we can see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer come out tomorrow and say, now that's what I call football heritage, after we've beaten their arse. Come on, please. We've already seen football heritage in play today, with Manchester City getting knocked out of the Champions League. They have no football heritage in the Champions League, and they are done and out of here. Fingers crossed, United can continue their heritage of always winning in a semi-final in Europe and getting to that final. Which United player scored against Sevilla last time? Jeez, I don't know. Was it Marshall, Rashford? I can't remember. I remember that great save that De Gea made. I remember that. It was Lukaku who scored for United on the 84th minute. What a sad time to be alive. Losing that game, eh? I think that was the moment I was more or less done with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I was just done. Yeah, I couldn't. Sorry, not with Solskjaer, with Mourinho. After that football heritage stuff, going into that game, no Pogba, no Marshall, awful setup, treating Sevilla like they were Real Madrid. We got beat, we got battered. It was just a sad time to be alive. Hopefully we can right those wrongs tomorrow in the game. We've got a new team, so there's no reason why they shouldn't be up for it, do you know what I mean? Like, this isn't the same team that played against them. Like, when you look at the 11 for United in that game, let's have a look. Like, when you look at United's 11 in that game, David De Gea in goal. So, alright, our goalkeeper could be the same. The back 4, Valencia, gone. Bailly has started our last few Europa League games, so he could start. Alright, De Gea and Bailly. Smalling and Young, gone. Matic started as well. So let's say De Gea, Bailly and Matic could possibly start. Then you had Sanchez, gone. Lingard doesn't start as often anymore. Very rarely starts now. Fellaini, gone. Rashford, one of our key players. Lukaku, gone. So you look at that and you see De Gea, Bailly, Matic, Rashford are probably the likeliest to start out of that game. 6 of them are gone, and one of them is now a bench player for Manchester United. So that shows you how far we have come from that time. On the bench at that time, we had Lindelof, Pogba, Mata, Marshall, Romero, Darmian and McTominay. Obviously, Darmian has left. Still got McTominay, Romero, Marshall, Mata, Pogba, Lindelof. But it was just a bad game. From we saw something like Ever Banega played for them then. He's going to be playing in this game. Ocampos is a big threat. Obviously, Jesus Navas plays at fullback for them. So they've got an interesting team. But we should really be beating them. We should definitely be beating them because, you know, we've got to get through in this game. We've got to. I know I wasn't enthused by the last game. And, you know, the Copenhagen game was a should win rather than it was a must win, but it was like, we've got to win this. This one is like, I'm up for this one. A European semi-final, decent European opposition, chance of a final potentially against Inter Milan, chance of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first trophy, and he doesn't want to get remembered as this season being 3 semi-finals. Do you know what I mean? The manager that couldn't turn it into a final. We want to be able to get beyond that semi-stage. Giggity. But fingers crossed we'll do that. Jamie says we have a very much different team now and have a stronger chance of doing them tomorrow. Is Luke Shaw fit? Luke Shaw is not fit. Make sure you go and check out the preview once we are done here. I did a little preview for you guys today, a 12-minute preview. So it's nice and concise, and you can go and check it out. And it's got all of my thoughts on this game that is coming ahead. Make sure you're hitting that like button, comment, share, subscribe, get your thoughts in on all things we have discussed today on AdamMcKola TV. Loads of talk about transfers, potential outgoings, incomings, all that good stuff. So make sure you're getting your thoughts in. Any other news that we're missing out on at this moment in time? Let's have a look. Manchester United's ray of transfer hope. Borussia Dortmund learned the hard way to play tough when rivals target their stars. But as Ousmane Dembele and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang deals show, this club have a form for giving in. So I think there's a new article that's just been released by the Mail, and it's pretty much no news because it's an opinion. Oh wow, they gave up on Dembele and Aubameyang, so, you know, they're going to do the same with Sancho. I think the same, but I don't think that's an indication of that. Completely different scenarios. Romero should be playing over David De Gea, says David. Is this you, David De Gea? Well, it wouldn't be, would it? I don't think. I don't think so. I think you play your strongest team. And I know De Gea made mistakes in the last semi-final, but I think you play your strongest team. It's as simple as that. They will be pressing tomorrow. We should be up for it. No new tweets from Fabrizio Romano at this time. We got the latest from Fabrizio Romano on the Stretford Paddock Tier 1 transfer podcast, which you can go and check out if you've not already seen it once you are done here and done with the Man United Sevilla preview, which is on the channel as well. So make sure you go in to check all of that out. Anyway, guys, I think that has been it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you're keeping it locked to AdamMcKola TV. Liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll be back tomorrow, so make sure you're joining us then as well. We'll have watch along on Paddock. We'll have fan cams on Paddock. We'll have reaction as well over here on AdamMcKola TV. So make sure you're joining us for that. But for now, guys, you lot have been absolute legends. I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.